How you all doing, everybody? It's me, Crazyfrankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Week 9 4 key game picks. Before we talk about Week number 9, I just want to get some quick thoughts on Week number 8, and it was quite an interesting week. Week number 8 was a little bit more interesting than Week number 7. Obviously, the game, possibly one of the games of the year, the Green Bay Packers-Arizona Cardinals game, really did live up to the Thursday night hype. And it was quite amazing on that last play that Green did not turn around and look for the pass from Kyle Murray. I mean, I thought for sure that Arizona would have scored that touchdown there. And look, I look at it from that last drive standpoint for the Cardinals here. It was the right decision to go for the win. Because if you would have gone to overtime, say if they would have just gone for the field goal, I don't know if they would have gotten the ball to start overtime with, let alone if Green Bay's defense would have been able to stop Arizona, because Green Bay's defense really did a good job on Arizona's offense last week. And the interesting part about that game was that after the interception in the end zone, which I like to call Malcolm Butler Part 2, it was more in the lines of, Kyle Murray was limping. He limped up after that last drive, so there's some big question marks now going into the game against the Cardinals. Got the 49ers next. It should be a win for them. It's going to be quite interesting to see how Kyle Murray's health is going to be towards that game on Sunday. So if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan, you got to hope that he's still healthy, that he's 100% okay. Speaking of injuries, Bucks, Jameis Winston and Henry for the Winston for the Saints, Henry for the Titans. Big blows to both these two teams. Both of them are out for the season. And it's going to be big question marks for the Saints and the Titans to see where do they go from here now in terms of what the Saints needing a quarterback and what the running game is for the Titans. So it's really a big blow in any sort of aspiration and some momentum for both the Saints and the Titans. So it's going to be big-time question marks to see what will happen with these two teams. And you got to wonder right now for a lot of NFL teams right now, who is the best team in both conferences. Really, the AFC really hasn't been clear at all. There really hasn't been much point. I mean, look, I look at teams that are 5-2, that were 5-2 going in. A couple of shocking upsets, like the Bengals losing to the Jets. The Browns barely losing to the Steelers. The Chiefs barely beating the New York Giants. So the way I look at it now in the AFC, there really is no clear-cut favorite right now, because the way things are going for the conference right now, I mean, a little looks like more of the power shifting still in the NFC. Now the NFC, I mean, it's pretty much safe to say right now that Green Bay now is the favorite in the NFC for the time being. Green Bay still has some tough games ahead. They have a tough one coming up against the Chiefs. It's going to be a tough one for them. But it's going to be interesting to see right now. Let's see how long Green Bay can hold on to that number 1 seed, because right now they are currently the number 1 seed right now, because the Buccaneers lost to the Saints in an enormous upset. And right now, and I look at teams right now that are barely, I don't know if I want to say they're contenders or pretenders right now, like the Rams and the Cardinals, and teams that currently have only 1 loss on their record. So it's really tough to say right now if anybody can hold a candle right now to the Green Bay Packers right now, because the Packers are on a mission after what happened in the NFC Championship last year. So right now, I would say right now, Green Bay is kind of now the favorite in the conference right now. But we'll just have to wait and see now as we head towards the halfway point of the regular season here as we begin with week number 9, and let's talk about it, shall we? And speaking of the Packers, let's talk about key game number 1. It is the Packers versus the Chiefs. The odds, the current lines right now are going to fluctuate, so we don't know right now, because this is some odds I got from MGM. Look, don't quote me on this or MGM on this. Currently right now the Chiefs are 1 point. They have the Chiefs as a 1-point favorite in this game. And I really think right now that is going to be you pick 'em status. And the reason why I say that is because I look at it from a standpoint for the Chiefs right now. They're not playing at a high level right now. they are struggling so much offensively, and defense-wise, they have issues. Now, Mahomes, 29 of 48, 275 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. It really wasn't that impressive a game he had against the Giants. Now, the Packers and Rodgers, 22 of 37, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. I don't know how the odds makers right now, look, I don't even know if this should be even you pick 'em status, because the way Green Bay is playing right now, the Packers are playing at an all-time high level. They should be favored in this game more than the Chiefs. Right now, I mean, take it with a grain of salt and the way the current lines are for this game. Now, I look at it from the Chiefs' standpoint right now. They're going to need to perform at a much higher level if they're going to beat the Packers here, because the Packers look more complete right now. And I don't know if Andy Reid can figure out these issues fast, because you got the Chiefs got a lot of tough games coming up on their schedule, and this is not going to be an easy game for the Chiefs here. If you look at Rodgers, I mean, you look at the way their passing game is, they're playing at a much better level than the Chiefs are. And the way I look at this game right now, you got to go with the Packers here. I mean, I know this game is in Kansas City, but lately, the way the Chiefs have been playing right now, home field means nothing right now to that team, unless if they have a strong team or not. I mean, look, this game could go either way. The Chiefs should come out and play much harder. This is basically their season right here for the Chiefs. This is basically their season right now for the Chiefs. They have got to play their best game of the season, and I don't think it's going to be this game here, because the Packers are a much more complete team. I like the Packers in this game, and that's what I'm going with for this matchup here. You got to go with the Packers here. Packers over the Chiefs. Key game number 2. Chargers versus the Eagles. Now, I know you're probably saying right now, why are you saying this is a key game? This is really a key game more for the Chargers than it is for the Eagles, because the Eagles right now, they're falling out of contention. They've already fallen out of contention in the NFC East. I don't think anybody's going to catch the Cowboys. I don't think anybody's going to catch the Cowboys in that dismal division in that NFC East. And Philadelphia last week, they beat up on a Lions team it's going nowhere, and they basically played like the 2008 Lions. Now, for the Chargers, in a disappointing loss last week against the Patriots, this is a game that I would say for the Chargers, this is a game that they got to turn their season around right now. Raiders are in first place in the AFC West, and they do play this week, and they got the Giants, and it's really this is a game that the Raiders should win, and the Chargers better find a way to beat the Eagles in this game, because this is a game the Chargers have to have here just to keep pace with the Raiders right now, because the Raiders right now, they're starting to pull away in the division, unless if the Chargers can get their act together and get back on track. Now, I know they're dealing with some minor injuries right now, but I say for the Chargers right now, no. Herbert last week went 18 of 35, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, Jalen Hurts, 9 of 14, 103 yards, no touchdowns, no interception. Mostly the defense did the job for the Eagles last. Now, the odds makers actually have the Eagles as a favorite in this game at 1.5. It wouldn't surprise me if this goes to 1. And I really don't know if having them as the favorite makes sense. Look, the Chargers really need to find a way, and their offense need to get together here. I think in this game here, I think the Chargers offense will get back on track. The Eagles are not that good. Offense-wise, they got fortunate that Jalen Hurts didn't have to play all that well just to beat a sorry Lions team. But when it comes now, this is like I said, this is a game the Chargers need this game badly to keep pace with the Raiders. And I think and I'm actually going with the Chargers here. I think the Chargers will beat the Eagles here. The Eagles are not that good, and the Chargers offense is slightly better than them. And they better show it in Philadelphia on Sunday. Because if they lose this game, no question the Chargers are in danger now of falling out of contention for the division, let alone a playoff spot. So yeah, I'm going with the Chargers here. Now, it'll be a very close game, because the way the Chargers offense have been playing, they really need to fix some things in the run game. Not only that, their defense really needs to find a way to stop the run. Eagles' running game isn't all that great. I think the Chargers will win this one here. I'm picking the Chargers here to beat the Eagles here. It should be a close game, but I'm going to pick the Chargers here. Chargers over the Eagles. Key game number 3. I never thought I'd be talking about this. The Battle of Ohio. between the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals currently right now, as the odds have them as a 2.5-point favorite in this one here, and it wouldn't surprise me if that number goes to 2, maybe 1.5. Baker Mayfield, 20 of 31, 225 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and a heartbreaking loss to the Steelers last Sunday. Now, the Bengals, after being upset by the Jets, Justin Burrow, 21 of 34, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. This is a huge toss-up between these two teams right now because I don't know what we're getting out of both these two teams here. Cleveland's offense right now is starting to fall apart. I don't know what's going on with Baker Mayfield, or if anything, their offensive coordinator just hasn't done a good job of calling up good plays for that offense, or maybe it's the Browns that don't have the chemistry. And a lot of it has to do also with the way Baker Mayfield's health is right now. That shoulder of his is not 100%, and I don't know how he's playing on that. And it's really become an issue for the Browns. Now the Bengals, look, they had one bad game here, but they know this is a game they have to have, not only to keep pace with the Ravens for the division, but obviously maybe as the top seed in the AFC right now could be up for grabs still, the way the AFC conference has played out this whole season. Now, I look at it this way. Cleveland's running game, hopefully if they get Chubb more healthy, and hopefully they soon get Hunt back. I don't know the status of Hunt, if he'll be playing in this game on Sunday, because he's also dealing with some injuries himself, and I don't know how healthy Chubb is going to be, because those two are badly needed in the backfield for the Cleveland running game in order to ease the pressure off of Mayfield. Now, for the Bengals here, their offensive line has got to do a better job of protecting Burrow, because that's one of the reasons why the Jets actually beat him, was the fact that Burrow got sacked a lot in that game last week. So it's really a toss-up in this game between these two teams right here. So like I said, this is another one here. Basically, I would treat this game with caution here. Let's just see how both these teams play out. And I got to pick a winner in this one here. I just think that the Bengals, in their offense, they have a little bit more chemistry than the Browns right now, because the Browns' offense is a mess right now. I don't know what's going on with them. Their defense also has really had problems in the secondary. It should be a very close game between these two teams here. I expect it to be a close one here, but I'm going to pick the Bengals here. I think the Bengals are going to barely beat the Browns here. It should be a good one here on Sunday between these two teams, but I just think the Bengals are going to beat the Browns probably by 3 points. That is going to be my pick for that one here. I'm going to go with the Bengals over the Browns. And finally, key game number 4, it is the Titans versus the Rams. Current odds right now, the Rams are actually a 7.5-point favorite. That was because of the news that Derrick Henry's out for the season. In all honesty, that if nothing had happened to Henry, that number would have been much more lower. So now what does the Titans do now without Henry? Let's see if they can get their second string backfield to see if they can play well, because everything now is going to rest on the shoulders of Ryan Tannehill. And Tannehill last week, 23 of 33, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Now Matthew Stafford, 21 of 32, 305 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a big win last week in basically a blowout game against the Texans last week. Tennessee's running game took a huge hit as Henry's out for the season. And like I said, a lot of it's going to rest on Ryan Tannehill now and to get that offense going. I mean, they barely cling to a victory against the Colts last week. So now there's going to be some huge question marks right now for the Tennessee Titans if they can get a running game established. Now the Rams, they made a splash during the week already getting Von Miller from a trade with the Broncos for draft picks. So that definitely will help the Rams defense a lot. And right now, this is how the odds makers have it right now at 7.5 for the Rams. Let's just see how this plays out on Sunday night between these two teams, because this was going to be a big game only if Henry would have been healthy. But now, I don't know, this Sunday's game it could be a little bit of a letdown. Let's just see if the Titans can compete here, because I actually like the Rams in this game. I think they're taking advantage of the fact that the Titans are going to have trouble with the run, putting everything on Ryan Tannehill's shoulders, not on that, acquiring Von Miller to add to their defense is going to be a huge help for them. I like the Rams in this game. I think the Rams are going to beat the Titans here. It should be a good one. Hopefully it's a good game on Sunday night, but I'm picking the Rams here. I think the Rams, and the way that things are going and the way the moves that they're making right now, they're in it. They're trying to win it right now. And I think with Henry being out for the Titans, this is really going to hurt their running game, and I think it's going to be the Rams defense is smelling blood here, and there's no question. I see the Rams beating the Titans here. Hopefully it's a good one Sunday night, but I'm picking the Rams over the Titans. All right, everybody, that wraps up my picks for week number 9. For all my week 9 picks, please check the description below, and I'll talk to you next week when I talk about week 10. Until then, take care. Enjoy your football weekend.